In this video, I'm going to show you how to add an extra $10,000 of profit every single month to your local business, even if your growth has felt unpredictable, flat, or if you feel like you've been stuck for months. Most business owners think that the only way to make more money is to get more leads. But the truth is, most local businesses are sitting on hidden profit opportunities that they've never even looked for, and these opportunities are actually easier than getting new customers. And the best part is, when you do add more leads later, these same systems will make every single one of those new leads worth even more money for your business. So in this video, I will show you the exact process that you can use to find those hidden profit opportunities and turn them into real cash for your business. Okay, so this first step is the absolute most important part of adding $10,000 a month in profit to your business. And if you skip this step, you're gonna have a really difficult time being successful. I remember many years ago, I was trying to grow my business and I was talking to a mentor about where I can find additional money. And he asked me, how much money do you pay to get a customer? And how much is each customer worth? And what's your lifetime customer value? And I kind of just looked at him with a blank stare. And that's when he said something I will never forget. He said, "Andy, without data, you're just an idiot with an opinion." What I realized from that day forward is that I didn't want to be an idiot with an opinion anymore. I wanted to actually make decisions based on data, and I need data to do that. Because if we're going to add more revenue to a business, there's only three ways that you can do this. The first way is to get more customers. The second way is to get your existing customers to spend more money with you. And the third way is to get them to spend more frequently. Those are the only three ways that you can add revenue to your business. So the first thing you need to ask yourself, if you want to make an extra $10,000 per month, is how many transactions do you need to make an extra $10,000 in profit per transaction? For example, if you make $1,000 profit per transaction, then that means that you need 10 transactions to make an extra $10,000 per month. So you can ask yourself, well, how can I get more transactions, or how can I reduce the number of transactions that I need to make to get to $10,000? Imagine if you could make $10,000 profit on one transaction. Well, that's a lot easier than selling 10. So the first question is, how much profit do you make on your average transaction? And then the second question is, how many transactions do we need to make to hit $10,000 profit per month? So for example, if you make $1,000 profit per transaction, well, now you know you need 10 transactions to make an extra $10,000 profit per month. But what if you could increase the amount of profit that you make on each transaction? Imagine you can increase from $1,000 profit to $2,500 profit. Well, now we only need 4 transactions to make an extra $10,000 profit per month. What if you could get to $5,000 profit per transaction? Well, now we only need 2 transactions. What if you could get to $10,000 profit per transaction? Well, now you only need to sell 1, which is a lot easier than selling 10 transactions. So the first thing you want to look at is, how can you increase the profit per transaction? And there's a couple ways that I go about doing this. First of all, I understand that I'm actually selling a result. I'm not selling a product, I'm not selling a service, and you're not selling a product or a service, you're selling a result. People buy the result of whatever it is that you do. They don't actually buy your thing. For example, I own a marketing and consulting business for lawyers, and we sell websites and SEO and pay-per-click advertising and coaching and fractional CFO and bookkeeping. Those are our deliverables, but those aren't the things that we actually sell. What we actually sell is the ability for a law firm owner to turn their job, essentially a law firm that requires them 60 hours a week and can't function without them. We help them create a business that runs without them, that gives them more free time than they've ever had before, so they can spend time with their friends and family, and they can do what they want instead of having to work 60 hours a week. We help them make more profit than they've ever made before, so that they can provide a life for their family that others only dream of. And we make sure they have systems and teams in place so that their clients get amazing results. That's what we sell. Our deliverable is the websites and the SEO and the social media and all the other stuff that I listed before. So the first question you have to ask yourself is, what is the result that you're actually selling? Because I promise you, it's not your deliverable. So for example, if you sell life insurance, yeah, your deliverable is a life insurance policy, but what are you actually selling? You're selling the peace of mind that if somebody passes away, their family is taken care of. That is what you're selling. So you have to understand that you're selling your result, and your result is not the deliverable. The result is the thing that they actually want. So whenever I'm trying to increase my revenue per transaction, the first question I ask is, how can I reduce the amount of effort that it's going to take my client to get the result that they're looking for? How can I take that effort off of their plate, off of their shoulders, and put it onto my shoulders? There's a lot of value in that, and I can charge for that reduction of effort on their part. The other question is, how can I reduce the amount of time that it takes to get them from where they currently are to getting the result? If I can answer those two questions and I can add value to the offer by adding something that's going to reduce the time that it takes to get the result that they're looking for, and also make it easier for them to get the result that they're looking for because now they have to do less work, I can charge more money for that. So those are the three questions that you want to start by asking yourself. What is the actual result that we're selling? How can I get them the result faster? And how can I make it easier for them to get the result? When you do that, you can raise your prices, which is going to give you more profit per transaction, which means that it's going to take you fewer transactions to get to that $10,000 per month profit. Another question to ask yourself is, what is the next problem that they have, or what problems are created as a result of hiring your business or buying your product or service? For example, let's say I'm unemployed. So I go get a job. Okay, great. I solved the problem of being unemployed. Now I have a job. Now I have money. But the next problem is I need to get to work. I don't have a way to get to work. Okay, so I don't have a car. So now I go buy a car. Now, as a result of getting a job, I created a new problem for myself. I don't have a car, so I went and I solved that problem. I bought a car, but now I've created all kinds of problems that I didn't have before. I need to get gas. I need to do maintenance. I need to get a driver's license. I need to have insurance. I need to get car washes. All of these different things that are now problems for me that I didn't have before. And your customers and clients also now have problems that exist as a result of buying your product or service. And if you can solve those problems, solve the next problem, then what happens is you have additional things that you can sell them, and you can increase your profit even more. So by running through this exercise, first of all, you're going to find more places where you can make more profit. And that's the first step in this entire thing. Now, the second question is, where is this profit actually going to come from? Who is going to provide the profit? Now, most small businesses are sitting on a gold mine, but they just don't realize it because they never think of it this way. But truthfully, this next tip is the fastest and easiest way to actually add that $10,000 a month profit to your business. So one of the problems that we created for our clients is we ran ads for them and we started generating a lot of leads. And now they were getting phone calls left and right, which meant that either A, their staff was getting tied up answering a lot of calls that they weren't used to, or B, they were just missing a lot of leads because the calls were going to voicemail because they were getting so many leads and they just couldn't keep up. And this is a really big problem because they're paying for every single one of these leads. So I was trying to help my clients figure out how to solve this phone situation, and I called a friend of mine that owns an answering service for lawyers. And I was asking him some questions about, what are the best practices about how you should answer the phone, and when should you answer the phone, and how do you set up voicemail, and what's the best voicemail to leave so that people call you back? And he's like, why don't you just sell them an answering service instead of trying to solve this problem for them? Maybe you're trying to solve a problem that they don't need to have solved by them. So I called up a client because I wanted to find out how many hours they were wasting on the answering service. And I wasn't even trying to sell him anything. I just said, hey, look, we're going to offer an answering service. How many hours are you spending? He was like, oh, you know what? Just sign me up. I want an answering service. This is actually driving me crazy. And just like that, by calling a client and solving a problem that we created for them, they hired us right there for that additional service. So then I picked up the phone and called another client that was missing lots of leads. I said, hey, I see you're missing a lot of leads here, and we have an answering service. Do you want to sign up for it? And they were like, yeah, we'll sign up for it. Basically, the next 2 weeks, we just spent calling our clients and upgrading them and selling them an answering service. The entire thing was white labeled, and we were able to make a very big profit while giving our clients a better experience because now they were making more money also because of the fact that they weren't missing calls and they were getting more clients. And that taught me a very valuable lesson. When you solve a problem that you've caused for your clients, it's very easy to just pick up the phone, call them, tell them you solved their problem, and they'll spend more money with you. The easiest place when you need to make extra profit for your business is to sell more to your existing clients. So the way that I like doing this is, first of all, if I can identify clients that actually have a problem that I know exists and I know that they know exists, then what I'll do is I'll call them up and I'll just tell them, hey, I know you have this problem. We offered this new solution. Are you interested in signing up for it? And when I do this, typically at least a third, usually half of them end up signing up. And just like that, we get upsells. And this is the easiest way to add profit to your business. Figure out what is the problem they have, offer a service to solve that problem, call them and just be like, hey, I know you have this problem. We're offering the service to fix it. Do you want it or not? And a decent percentage of them will take it. You could probably do this and add $10,000 right away to your business. Now, if you don't know what your clients are struggling with, or you're not sure which clients are struggling with which problem, you can literally just pick up the phone, call them, and do a check-in call and just be like, hey, just checking in, want to see how everything's going, wanted to touch base with you. What are the biggest things that you're struggling with? What are the services that you wish we would add? What are the problems that you need help with? And when they mention a problem that you've now solved because you've gone through and done this exercise and added additional services to your business, you can just make them the offer right there, and a decent percentage of them will sign up. Now that brings us to the next tip, which will add way more than $10,000 per month to your business. In fact, if you do this, your business will grow exponentially and potentially indefinitely. Now, you probably already know that the warmest leads and the easiest leads to sell come to you from your current customers. Whenever they refer their friends, family, colleagues to you, it's usually a pretty easy sale. And this is actually the main growth source for a lot of businesses. Lots of businesses grow exponentially through client referrals. In fact, this is how PayPal got started. They were growing 7 to 10% every single day because what happened was if you referred a friend to PayPal, you got $10 and they got $10. And this happened every single time you referred somebody. Uber grew this exact same way. When you gave free rides to a friend, you also got free rides. And this caused them to grow by 30% month over month when they were first getting started. Dropbox is another great example. They grew by 3,900% over a 15-month period. And all they did was roll out a referral program where if I refer you, we both get free storage. It was a great program that worked very, very well. So one of the easiest ways to add profit to your business is to get more referrals from your current customers. And you can start with those interviews that I talked about a minute ago. Before you get off the phone, ask them who else they know needs that product or service. You see, you have to make an effort to actually ask for referrals. Don't assume that your customers and your clients are going to just know to refer business to you. Odds are they're not business owners, they're not entrepreneurs, and they don't think the way that you do. They don't understand that some businesses really rely on referrals. They don't understand that's something that would really help your business out because they're preoccupied with their own stuff. So you just have to ask them. And it's a great question. Who else do you know that could benefit from this? Now, the thing that's going to grease the wheel a little bit is if you incentivize them, just like the examples that I gave you with Uber and PayPal and Dropbox. I actually just got a referral offer from my bank. I bank with Chase. They said if I refer another business and that business opens a checking account with Chase, then I get $100 and they get $100. So figure out how to incentivize your customers and your clients so that when they refer people, both parties, both your customer and the person that they're referring, benefit from the transaction. Because when people have some sort of incentive, they're much more likely to give you that referral. And while we're talking about referrals, it's actually a really good practice to make sure that you're always asking for referrals. Now, you don't have to actually be asking for referrals. You can put up a sign in your office. You can put an email signature. In fact, I was at the dentist office and I saw a sign that said, referrals mean the world to us and are the best compliment you can give us. So if you know somebody that needs a new dentist, please let us know and we'll give you both a free cleaning. Now, there's a very important distinction there. First of all, they said, please let us know, not please let them know. And the reason why is because people have the best intentions and they'll intend to actually refer somebody, but then they'll completely forget. So it's better if they actually tell you about it. That way they can get credit for it. And also you can initiate the referral. Now, my favorite way to get the client to make the referral is through some sort of group contact, either a group text message or a group email where the referee, your client, introduces you to the person that referred you. That's one of the best ways that you can do this because it immediately transfers that social proof from your client, their friend or colleague or family member, whoever it is, to you, especially if it's a group text message. That's my absolute favorite. And if they're with you in person, be sure to take a selfie with them and include that picture in the message. We actually used a variation of this strategy when we launched our book, Law Firm Growth Accelerator, with my marketing agency. After somebody bought the book on our website, they were taken to a page that asked who else they knew that needed to read this book. And then we offered to send the book on their behalf to their colleague. And we included a handwritten note that was written and signed from the person who had just bought the book and was sending the book to a friend. This made that person look like a rock star, but it also transferred that social proof because now the book was coming from a friend who was recommending the book instead of coming from some random company that they may or may not have ever heard of, and maybe they don't trust us. This strategy worked really well because it framed the book as a gift rather than a sales piece, and it also functioned as a pretty good referral. Now, another way that you can add $10,000 a month in profit to your business is to make people actually want to hire you over all the other competitors in your market. We have a client named Kevin who is an attorney in Florida, and he creates tons and tons of content about DUI. He's a criminal defense attorney, and he creates lots of content that people are interested in whether they've gotten a DUI or not. Things like, what are your rights as a driver? What do you do if you come up to a roadside sobriety test? Should you take the blood test or the breath test? What do you do if you get pulled over after drinking? And lots of other videos like that. He creates 1 or 2 videos a day, and he promotes them on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube Shorts. Now, every couple days, he'll have one video that will outperform all the other videos. It'll get 5 or 10 times more views. So what he does is he then boosts that video with ads. This is a strategy called promoting your unicorns. He promotes the best content. And what he does is he puts maybe $100 behind the video, and he'll boost it to a 10-mile radius from his office. Within 3 or 4 months, he has people stopping him at Starbucks. He's got people stopping him when he's out to dinner, taking selfies with him, because now he's a local celebrity because of the fact in a very small area, he has put himself out there where people start to see him over and over and over again, and he made himself a local celebrity. Now, people want to hire him because he's the guy that they see all the videos of. He's the guy that they now have built all that goodwill with because they've watched his videos. They now know, like, and trust him, and they recognize him. And because of that, people actually want to hire him over all the other competitors in the market. He's the #1 DUI attorney in the area now. And the reason why is because in life, there's a rule that you get paid more for who you are rather than what you do. What that means is that if you can become well known, then people will always pay you more. So if you use this strategy where you start creating content every day, just start filming 1 or 2 short form videos, post them on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube Shorts, on Facebook, and the ones that get more views than the others, just put a little bit of money behind them, boost them with ads in a 10-mile radius from your location or whatever area makes sense for you, and you continue doing this over 2 or 3 months, you will start to get more people that want to hire you specifically because you're the person that they know, like, and trust. And when you do this, it makes it so that you get a lot more leads. It makes it so that more people want to hire you, and you can charge more money now because you're actually part of the offer. They will actually pay more money to work specifically with you, and all that money goes straight to the bottom line. All that extra money that you're able to charge, whether it's $500, an extra $1,000, $5,000, whatever it is, that's all profit straight into your pocket. And that's a great way to increase the amount of profit that you can make for your business. Now, this final strategy is one that not only works on its own, but it also enhances everything else that you do. In fact, I think that this is the absolute most important strategy long-term for your business. If you want to add $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, heck, even $100,000 in profit per month, this is what you need to do. And that is get as many Google reviews as humanly possible. And the reason why is that when you get more Google reviews, you're going to show up higher in the Google 3-pack, in the Google Maps. And that is where phone calls come from, especially if you get reviews that have words, phrases, keywords, and synonyms that are related to both your business and your geographical location. And more visibility means that you have more opportunities for people to find you. And then because you have a lot of Google reviews, that's going to increase conversions. Now, the secret to this is getting the words, phrases, and keywords in the Google reviews in a natural way. And there's a very easy way to do this, and that is to give your clients and your customers prompts when leaving a Google review. So I always tell my clients to tell their clients something like this. A lot of times people want to leave a review, but they don't know exactly what to say. We have found that the most helpful reviews typically answer the following 5 questions. Question number 1. What was the problem that you had before you came to our business? Question number 2, why did you pick us over all the other businesses in the market? Question number 3, what did we do for you? Question number 4, what were the results? And question number 5, how did these results impact your life? Now, you're obviously going to want to modify these questions slightly to match your business or your service, but the idea is the same. When your clients and customers leave reviews like this, you're going to automatically get those words, phrases, and keywords and synonyms that are related to your business in the review because they're telling a story. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. Not only that, but because they're telling a story, people are going to read the reviews and they're going to convert at a much higher rate because the reviews are much more believable. And also, there's probably going to be people that are going to see their stories in the existing stories that are there. So focusing on getting as many Google reviews as humanly possible will absolutely skyrocket your profits. So there you have it, a bunch of different ways that you can easily add $10,000 in profit to your business by the end of this year. Let me know in the comments what is your favorite.